We are Siouxland proud. This is KCAU 9 News at 10.
Well, good evening and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Avi Hannon. Earlier today, the Lewis and Clark Interpretive Center here in Sioux City hosted the Midwest Mission of Iowa, as it's our top story at 10. The Midwest Mission of Iowa is a humanitarian relief agency based in Jefferson, Iowa. Midwest Mission of Iowa puts together different kits for people in need. Those include birthing kits, cleaning kits, school supply kits, and health supply kits as well. There was also a wooden loom display where Midwest Mission shows how to put a sleeping mat together from discarded plastic grocery bags. The sleeping mats are then dispersed to the homeless.
The mats then are dispersed. We've sent quite a few of them down to Des Moines where there's a huge homeless problem. I know that one of the groups here in Sioux City that's been making them has taken some here to the soup kitchen here in Siouxland.
It takes nearly 1,000 plastic bags and about 25 hours to make each mat, and when complete, the mats weigh about 7 pounds. And the Union County Sheriff's Office said in a Facebook post they are seeking the public's help with an investigation. The incident occurred this morning in Alcester, South Dakota. The Union County Sheriff's Office is asking for any surveillance footage. That could be a ring camera or any information between the hours of 1 a.m. and 2:30 a.m. around the 500 block of Iowa Street and any of the surrounding areas. Police ask that folks contact the Union County Sheriff's Office at 605-356-2679 with information or questions. And tonight we have an update on the Big Sioux River Bridge that was damaged during the summer flooding and later demolished. Work to rebuild the bridge is underway. BNSF told KCAU-9 in a statement that crews will begin working on the bridge on Tuesday. Crews will be working during the overnight hours to make up for lost time due to federal permits. The first stage of the overnight work will occur on March 4th, and that will continue through April. BNSF and the contractor Ames Construction said they understand the inconvenience with working overnight and will minimize the impact to the public as much as they can. The replacement bridge is estimated to be completed in July. And yesterday, the Lamar's Fire Rescue Department was called to multiple field fires. The first fire happened at 11316 Highway 75, where a burn pile rekindled and spread to a nearby field. That was put out in around 40 minutes. The second fire happened at 14618 Juniper Avenue, where several hay bales and a field were on fire. Firefighters put out a fire at a hog confinement building next to the bales. The fire moved across the street to another field, and the fire was controlled and stopped. Firefighters were on the scene for more than 5 hours, and the cause of that fire was a burn pile of trees that rekindled and spread into a ditch and jumped Juniper Avenue. There were no injuries in either of the fires. And Iowa became the first state removing civil rights protections based on gender identity. And today, dozens of people could be heard protesting for transgender access across Iowa, including Bittendorf. The law removes gender identity from the state's civil rights code, explicitly defines sex as male and female, and considers gender to be a synonym for sex.
Someone like me who is intersex, and that could pose a huge issue because that means I cannot have any legal documents whatsoever. Like, I just don't exist to the federal government.
And advocates worry that the passing of this bill could increase discrimination towards trans and gender non-conforming people.
I feel that it's very dangerous, and it opens up the window for all kinds of hate crimes, all kinds of abuse. Discrimination, especially in housing, the job market.
And the new law won't go into effect until July of 2025. And in Des Moines, Iowa folks gathered to march against hate. The bill that Governor Reynolds signed on gender identity prompted hundreds of protesters to fill the Capitol on Thursday, and today an organization is continuing to speak out against it. United Solidarity is holding its first organized event this afternoon. Dozens of people showed up after the march against hate. The group met on the steps of the State House and worked their way down through the East Village. The organizer tells us she hopes to provide support during a divided time.
I hope that we can all unite together and remain solid together. Fear causes division, and love and peace causes, unity. And so we just want to create unity and create hope, and that's our biggest mission.
Today's event was held on a significant day, as March 1st is the same day the Civil Rights Act of 1875 was signed into law by President Lowley, says a grant protecting all citizens and their civil and legal rights. And over in South Dakota, Governor Larry Roden signed an executive order on Thursday to create a task force called Project Prison Reset. The group will determine the need, location, and size for a new prison. It was one of the several legislative topics at a public event in Lenox this morning. Lawmakers who serve in parts of Lincoln County both have ideas on things they'd like to see the task force accomplish.
There wasn't a path forward with the legislature this year to do Plan A. I call Plan A the current site in Lincoln County with 1,500 bed prison. And in the Cracker Barrel this morning, I expressed my concern about the ongoing cost of doing such a project right now.
Representative Lems is part of it and consists of House and Senate members and non-lawmakers. And Nebraska Department of Economic Development awarded $4.4 million through the Municipality Infrastructure Aid Program. The money will be distributed to 4 cities, as the grants will help the municipalities finance infrastructure improvements such as water systems, sewer systems, roads, bridges, and other site development activities. The Municipality Infrastructure Aid Program awards for February 2025, those are Bloomfield, that will be receiving over $180,000, Grand Island, that will be receiving over $1.7 million, North Platte, that will be receiving over $1.5 million, and Ralston, that will be receiving about $840,000. Well, back in Siouxland, the Woodbury County Emergency Management are seeking volunteers to help out with 2 crucial programs. Officials say they're looking for residents to assist with the emergency management support teams and a citizens preparedness task force. A member of the county's emergency management says the team gets people from all walks of life who want to help their neighbors in crisis.
Volunteers are crucial for emergency management because in a disaster, sometimes the need for help exceeds the available resources. So that's when trained volunteers can step in and help with search and rescue, shelter support, first aid.
And if you're interested in volunteering, we have more information on our website. That's SiouxlandProud.com. And table tennis players from all over the Midwest came to Sergeant Bluff Community Center for their biannual table tennis tournament today. 64 players of all ages and skill levels competed in the tournament. Each player will play in about 15 matches, with a total of over 400 matches played by the end of the day. There were 5 total divisions, with 12 in each division. The players are seeded by rankings from the website Ratings Central.
The level of competition is unbelievable. We get players that come in that not come in, but come to our club that I've never been beat in my basement in 5 years. And it's different. It's a whole new ballgame.
And if you're interested in playing table tennis, the Sergeant Bluff Table Tennis Club plays on Wednesday and Sunday nights at the Sergeant Bluff Community Center. Well, switching gears, joining me now is meteorologist Maggie Warren. So Maggie, it was a good day to stay indoors and play table tennis, as it was a bit colder out today. What are the conditions looking in the future? Are we going to stay cold? What's it looking like?
Well, we're going to get some better outdoor time tomorrow. Those temperatures going to warm. For right now, though, a chilly but quiet night out on our Ho-Chunk Center camera. Really not a whole lot going on. Those winds rather calm, still just out of the east-southeast at 6 miles an hour. That temperature at 25 degrees and wind chill at 18. So dropped back into the teens with those wind chills under clear conditions. A chilly night out there. Temperatures into the teens and low to mid 20s. Still hanging on to 31 in Norfolk, 30 down there in Omaha, but checking in at 16 up in Estherville, that coldest temperature on the map right now. We do see those humidities that are slowly starting to come back up, but still have quite a bit of dry air in place, with those between about 20 and 40% for most areas. The good news, those winds are rather calm. They've been calm through the day, even with those low relative humidities. So we haven't seen that fire danger that we saw yesterday. Those winds right now between about 5 and 6 miles an hour at most. A couple of spots at 7 miles an hour. We will start to see those pick up into our day tomorrow. Gusts potentially up to 30 miles an hour, and that'll drop wind chills a bit for at least the morning tomorrow. But for tonight, seeing those staying rather close to those actual air temperatures into the teens and low to mid 20s. 24 the wind chill there in Mapleton, 28 in Tacoma, 18 there in Esterville, and 18 out in Neely as well. So definitely a little bit of an added extra bite to the air as you step outside tonight. Few clouds still hanging on to, some clouds kind of dotting the sky. So if you're maybe heading out to take a look at some of those planets that are still visible out there, might have some trouble with those clouds, but we do see those clear into our Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon looking clear as well before we start to see a few clouds slowly starting to push back into our Monday. By Monday morning daybreak, we do see quite a bit of cloud cover in place, especially through along and west of that I-29 corridor in the Missouri River. We see that cloud cover filling in through our Tuesday afternoon or Monday afternoon, Monday evening, looking at even some rain showers to get going as we start to see this low pressure system pushing closer and closer to us. It's this axis of low pressure, this cold frontal boundary, and that low pressure to our south that will bring our next precipitation chance of some rain, some wintry mix, and some snow for Tuesday and into early Wednesday. But for tonight, staying clear and chilly, 24 degrees, some quiet conditions. Those south-southeast winds remaining rather light between just 5 to 10 miles an hour. Picking up for the day tomorrow out of the south between 10 to 15 miles an hour, gusting 25 to about 30 miles an hour or so. So a little bit more of a fire danger for our Sunday as temperatures rise back into the mid 50s. We turn breezier and we still see those very low relative humidity. So going to want to use those fire weather precautions out there. Avoid that burning. Use extra caution with anything that could spark a fire. And then we see those temperatures staying in the mid and upper 50s for Monday. Slow slide into midweek as we get those shower and snow chances back in. That best chance going to be Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. Temperatures into the upper 30s for Wednesday, but the cool down is brief. We see those temperatures into the mid and upper 40s to round out the work week. Some more precipitation chances, and then temperatures on the rebound, really springing forward with our time change on Sunday of next week. Not this week, next week. You'll want to put those clocks an hour forward before you head to bed, and then looking at those temperatures into near 70 by the time we hit next Monday. I know I'm definitely looking forward to that.